it's a devastating situation which so many South Africans find themselves in. And we're going to take you then to Sandile Swana, who is a lecturer at the University of the Witwatersrand. Sandile, you were telling us before we got cut off about the president here, if we've ever seen the kind of job losses in any single quarter as we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that during this time of, since 1994, of democracy, and certainly in this century, we've not seen this particular type of losses.
All of the job losses that we're seeing seem to be predominantly coming from business. Of course, that says a lot about the extent to which job creation has actually been taking place.
Yes. Actually, one of the biggest challenges in South Africa right now is the mistake of not recognizing that the long-term unemployment problem, which started in the mid-70s and has continued and worsened during this period of democracy, is not the jobs themselves that is missing. What is missing are new, innovative businesses being created to absorb the labor. So for you to talk about jobs, job losses and jobs that are not there is to miss the point. For instance, in South Africa, we don't even keep proper statistics to track how much we are developing SMMEs, how many new businesses are we creating. If you compare us to countries like South Korea, for instance, where they talk about 99-88, where 99% of the companies, which are SMMEs, create 88% of the jobs, and so on and so forth. And in South Africa, we're all over the show, and we think that we've even got a ministry for jobs, but labor, that is. But actually, that deals with people who are already employed, not the people who are unemployed who need to be put into productive businesses.
The SMME sector has long been identified as being a sector which can create a lot of jobs in South Africa, but it just doesn't seem that there's been adequate support for small businesses, and in fact, they're the ones that have had the biggest impact coming out of COVID-19.
Yes, it's a cultural problem in South Africa. Unlike countries like Germany, which prioritize family-owned businesses, SMMEs, South Korea certainly, as part of saying every household must have a business of some kind, and they link those businesses, for instance, to big companies like Samsung, Daewoo, and so on, so that wealth is distributed and every household is actually independent economically. So our financial systems in South Africa and our banking systems are not designed to actually support aggressive SMME growth and the development of innovative, brand new businesses. It doesn't help us calling Pick n Pay, Sasol and them to the convention center. That is not where new jobs are going to come from. New jobs are going to come from hardcore entrepreneurs on the ground creating jobs on a continuous basis.
Sandile, one of the things that you also raise is the challenges that South Africa faces, in particular when we look at the burden of disease on the country. You are saying that it could be very easy to turn things like that, which are seen as an incredible burden on the fiscus, into opportunities too.
Absolutely. I think during this time of COVID-19, a few of us had to stand back and say, what is going on? One of the things that stunned me was the fact that COVID-19 was having much worse outcomes for people who had pre-existing conditions, such as hypertension and so on. And those diseases are preventable diseases. These are what some people call lifestyle diseases. Now, what has happened is that, for instance, the food that we eat, we no longer produce our own food organically and eat well. So one of the biggest opportunities that needs to happen, that actually Zwelin Kize and others need to focus on, is to say, can we actually create an industry of wellness where in every village, every township, people are turning around and actually preventing disease, because this is costing us a lot of money economically. And yet it is a big opportunity. Wellness is a major opportunity across Africa.
Let's talk about the projections then for the third and fourth quarter of the year. There seems to be an indication that government is expecting some kind of rebound. If we take a look at what has been coming out of the Department of Social Development, they now are going to be stopping with some of the support that they've been giving to South Africans because they believe more people will be able to go back to their streams of income before the lockdown. Is that a realistic view?
That is not a realistic view, but you know, from 2008, in fact 2009, when it was time to actually create a stimulus package to make the economy jump back to life, and Professor Brian Campbell from UCT makes this point that actually we went with a very minimal stimulus package then. Even in this COVID-19, South Africa is going in with a minimal economic stimulus package. And that 6 months, they budgeted for 6 months, not more. And they are not, it's not because they know that the economy is going, it's just what they budgeted for. The other countries have said there will be loan holidays for 12 months and so on and so forth. People are only now starting to re-establish their businesses. Customers are starting to regain confidence to purchase anything from anybody. So the next 6 months up to December, let's say the next 3 months, 4 months to December, will be a period of recuperation, reorganizing. You'll start to see a proper rebound around April next year.
Independent analyst Sandile Swana, thanks for your time on The Pulse.